Alright guys, welcome to the channel. It's your man, the Grass Ninja. We are hitting another chapter 66 predictions video. This time we're going to be discussing basically the training between Boruto and Kawaki, and who basically a prediction of how the fight's going to unfold, and whatever, we're just going to talk about some Boruto stuff, so let's do it. So I basically, it's just, we all understand these general concepts, right? So like Boruto is the vessel of Momoshiki, right? And Kawaki is the vessel of Isshiki, right? Okay, and it's like widely accepted, like by most of us in the community, right, that Isshiki is the strongest Otsutsuki, right, between the two. Okay, so Isshiki is stronger, right? We all understand that. Okay, so it would be safe to assume that Kawaki's karma is more powerful in comparison to Boruto's, right? So like once they both fully mature, Kawaki's karma should be the stronger karma. Okay, so can we get there? Awesome. So like now, other than like the Jogan, right, which is like a power we know insanely little about, like what other path can we expect Boruto to take in order to close this obvious gap in power in order to keep him relative to Kawaki? Okay, so right now, if we look at like the main ability of each vessel's respective Otsutsuki, all right, it becomes clear to me, okay? It becomes clear to me, bro, that not only does Kawaki's karma grant him access to more raw power than Boruto's, right, but like also like he's gonna be inheriting like Isshiki's like special techniques and abilities, like that we saw Jigen use, right, like the Sukuna Hakona, the Daiko Kuten, right? Like these are just two hacks abilities that flow extremely well with a taijutsu focused fighter, allowing you to like shrink yourself and other objects down to that like microscopic near invisible level like instantaneously. Okay, and if we look back to like the Boruto movie and its anime adaptation, right, Momoshiki's abilities, they heavily revolve around negating ninjutsu. Like for example, his Renegon's ability to absorb ninjutsu, then amplify and redirect like whatever techniques he absorbs. Okay, so like as we saw, okay, Momoshiki's battle against the 5 Kage, like avoiding ninjutsu and focusing on taijutsu is like half the battle when it comes to fighting Momoshiki, right? And like when overwhelmed like this, it was relatively easy to push Momoshiki into a corner, which led him into like having to consume Kinshiki and like evolve and shit like that. Okay, so like how can like Boruto basically maximize his taijutsu using the limited hacks that like his karma given to him by Momoshiki is gonna do, right? So like how's he gonna be able to maximize his taijutsu abilities with the limited hacks given to him by Momoshiki's karma? Okay, and like obviously, like if you've seen the title or whatever, and you have to guess, like we can't like the answer's clear as day to me. Okay, so Boruto has to finish like his Hyuga clan training, all right, with Hanabi. Like now, like why is this like so grandiose and important? Like how is something as trivial as completing his Byakugan or Hyuga clan training going to close this gap between Momo's karma and like Isshiki's karma, right? So first thing I want to say, like, because basically I'm about to answer this whole question, right? So how is him mastering the Byakugan going to close the gap in power, or at least keep him relative to Kawaki? Well, if he masters the Gentle Fist, which is the first thing he needs to do, and it'd be a huge step for Boruto if he's going to eventually go up against someone who can take advantage of Isshiki's taijutsu hacks, like maximizing his visual prowess is like essential for not only enhancing his physical like strikes, but mainly for like tracking Kawaki's movements. Okay, because we got to remember, like when Naruto and Sasuke fought Jigen, the two of them were like heavily relying on Sasuke's Sharingan to keep track of where like Jigen's chakra was moving, right? Because like whenever Jigen was like decide to like shrink or vanish during the fight, like they needed Sasuke to tell him or tell each other and communicate where this dude is. So with the Byakugan, right, stated to have a better visual prowess to the Sharingan, just when it comes to tracking chakra, all right, like in the sense of the word, better in that sense, right? It would make sense for Boruto to train with someone who can help him maximize his capabilities with the Byakugan, like any of the big names from the Hyuga main branch. But I'm saying Hanabi since she's the current like leader and like head of the clan for the main branch, so it's like she would probably be the one to train him, right? So that's one, right? Mastering the Byakugan could assist Boruto and be the only reason that he's even, like, it would even make sense for him to follow Kawaki's movements if Kawaki ever does adapt, like, more of Isshiki's abilities into his fighting style. But, like, what else do we got, right? So, like, well, like I mentioned earlier, Momoshiki's biggest hurdle was, like, getting overwhelmed with taijutsu. And we know, like, that Kawaki has inherited the Shadow Clone Jutsu from Naruto, and Kawaki's probably going to be able to draw on more raw power from his karma than Boruto. So, you know, because Isshiki is just simply more powerful than Momoshiki. So, like, how does mastering the Byakugan help him when it comes to just that overall power gap, right? And getting overwhelmed just by sheer power and numbers. So for that, we got to look back into OG Naruto when Mike Guy was explaining the difference to us between the strong fist and the gentle fist, okay? The two different fighting styles that we got, basically they told us back in OG Naruto, right? So back in OG Naruto, it's explained to us that most taijutsu focuses on brute force attacks that, you know, focus on like overpowering your opponent by dealing like outside, or like what they would call like outside or external damage, right? Like attacks that focus on like breaking bones and like bruising muscle tissue and stuff like that, right? And then there's the gentle fist, which focuses more on like the inside or the internal damage, like aiming for your vital organs and like at your chakra points, right? And like basically what I'm getting at here is that like the way the gentle fist works, like it almost completely ignores the durability and strength difference of the opponent, because it doesn't focus on shattering someone's defense. It focuses on striking the most sensitive and critical areas, like the most critically vital areas in someone's defense, basically. So like if we really want to think about it, I know this is probably like played up for like laughs and as like a gag, but like Himawari knocked out Naruto and the Nine Tails back in that one special, right? But like, you know, since that one was kind of like just played up for laughs, like I'm gonna have to like find like a real example. So give me a sec. Let's look at Neji versus Naruto from like part 1. All right, so like when Naruto tries to like overwhelm Neji with numbers using like his multi-shadow clone jutsu, right? Neji doesn't focus on like destroying every single clone one by one. Instead, he tries to identify which clone was the original in order to like dispel the jutsu altogether by like striking at Naruto's chakra points, right? So if Boruto were to master like the gentle fist, right, he could use it alongside the Byakugan to focus on disrupting Kawaki's chakra flow in order to overcome their difference in raw power and like getting overwhelmed by a potential army of Kawaki shadow clones, because that would be like imagine if he could pull off like 1,000 shadow clones. I wouldn't want to fight him. He would be the strongest in the village at that point. In my, like, I don't know. I had to think about it, but he'd be one of the, yeah, he'd be up there, bro. I'm gonna tell you that he'd be up there. So that's two, right? Like even though Kawaki will most likely be physically stronger than Boruto by the time their karma like fully matures and stuff, Boruto using a master gentle fist should be able to keep him like in a relative league to Kawaki when we're talking like purely taijutsu, right? Like we got to think like Rock Lee versus Neji in part 1. Like sure, Lee's punches hit harder, and with Gates he can deal like insane amounts of damage, right, with brute force in one shot, sure. But Neji can also deal insane levels of damage just by striking an opponent's vital areas, or he can just completely shut down someone's ability to mold chakra, and he could even halt someone like Lee from opening up the gates in the first place. So like give Boruto access to all those abilities, and then he's just that much more lethal, right? So but like that's not all there is, right? I mean, there's still like the two major techniques that the Hyuga clan can pass down to Boruto in order to like enhance his taijutsu ability. with like the intentions of like keeping him in a relative league to Kawaki when it comes to like the overall end all be all of the story, right? And I'm talking about like the 8 trigrams techniques, right? More specifically like palm rotation and like the X amount of palms techniques, right? Like 64 palms, 128 palms, 256, like however many you want to do. So now I feel like this video is already kind of going on long enough, and those abilities are like, you know, they're popular enough that I feel like I don't really need to explain them. So I'm just gonna close out the video and like leave you guys with this last question. So like, if Boruto does master his Byakugan, right, and has access to like rotation and 64 palms, do you think with all of Boruto's talent, latent potential, that it would be possible for Boruto or even Momoshiki to evolve these techniques into something even more lethal than what they already are? And I'm talking about like the possibility of Boruto like adding like changes in chakra nature on top of these techniques, like imagine lightning style 64 palm jutsu or whatever, right? Like they're like just the possibilities are endless right now. Like it's insane. So let me know what you guys are thinking about you know, the video and the theory in general. I've been your man, Grass Ninja. I'm signing out, and like, comment, subscribe. It does a great deal. It means a lot. Makes me want to keep going. Peace.